Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 15, Construction. One day on the island of Sodor, all the engines have just gotten up and they were buzzing with excitement because today was the day the new airport was going to be built. Even Gordon was happy.
Yay, finally we get to have some interesting things around here, he said.
Well, we better get to the docks, said Thomas. And he puffed off. Yeah, we better, said Oliver. He went off too. See ya, guys, said Lady.
Goodbye. I'm getting a bit of a tight squeeze now.
See ya, Rosie, said Hero, and he puffed off. I hate construction, and I hate building, and I don't like going to the docks because it's all wet, and I just hate airports, said Rosie. I'm not going to help. And she backed up into her shed very crossly. Over at the docks, all the engines were getting the cargo cars to get some things over to the airport, where the new airport was going to be built. So the engines backed up so other engines could get things loaded up to them. Thomas had a big thing of concrete, and he puffed off. Next was Oliver. He had to go load up to a cargo car. What am I carrying, Colin? He said.
Oh, you're carrying some woodish sort of thingy, I don't know. I don't read the labels.
Okay, thank you, Colin, said Oliver, and he puffed off. Well, what am I carrying, Colin? I'm not sure. But there you go. What are you carrying? Oh, here you go. There's some cement. Oh, thank you very much. And she puffed off. Next was Gordon. Gosh, I do hate carrying things. But if it does get me a reward, I guess I can handle it. What am I taking? Let's see. Oh, here we go. You're taking butter for their lunch. Seriously? Butter? Said Gordon. Yes, said Colin. Butter? Ugh. They need butter for lunch for their sandwiches? You could hear him as he puffed off into the distance. What am I carrying? Said Hero. Oh, Hero, said Colin. You're taking some of these. What are these? They'll be very important, don't worry. Oh, yay, said Hero, and he puffed off. Those engines must get very busy, said Colin. Yes, they must, said the man in the other crane. Over where the airport was getting built, lots of the cars had been dropped off. The engines had gone over to Knapford Station. They were just waiting on a couple more carriages. There were lots of cars now over at where the airport was getting built. They were driving past lots again and again and again. Over at Knapford Station, the engines were talking about how exciting it was going to be to have a new airport being built. Wow, this is going to be really exciting, said one of the engines. Gordon had just puffed into the station.
That was such a hard job, he said. Carrying butter is actually very heavy, he said.
Oh, be quiet, said Salty. I gotta go. I'll see you guys. The young couple from Lady. He puffed up. I'm going to go look at the new airport, said Oliver and Thomas, and they puffed off. Choo-choo. I think I'm just going to rest here for a little bit, said Lady. She rolled into another siding. So am I, said Hero. Yes, so am I, said Gordon. He wasn't very happy about carrying butter. The engines were sitting there for a little while. Then suddenly they heard the other engines calling out to them. Lady! Hero! Gordon! Quickly, come! They've just put down the cement! Quick! Come over! Suddenly they all went off. This is not going to be good, said Gordon. Knapford Station was now empty. Said the passengers. Gosh, no respect for us. Over at where the new airport was being built, lots of the cargo trucks had been taken off the train track. Some had been left there because they had not used, because they cannot be taken off the tracks. They had been moved up, and some of the people took the other stuff off. Time for lunch, said one of the workmen. Yes, I agree, said the other. Well, we better take these back, said Oliver, and he puffed off. By the time Oliver had gotten back, lots and lots of work had been done. Oliver had brought some friends with him. He brought Rusty and Salty with him. Move up, said Oliver. So the engines moved up. By then, all the engines were there, except for some of the diesels. Alfie had just come over to help work. He started digging. And then Max and Monty also came over to help work. By then, lots and lots of workmen had come. They had built the runway. There were steamrollers rolling. There were trucks and there were people. And lots and lots was happening. There was also a new road that had been built, that had been made, so cars could come and drive on it. But no cars could get across at the moment. By then it had gotten dark. And all the engines were getting a little bit tired. Wow, that just got really dark, they said. Most of the trucks had gone by that time. Then the people had just started to pack up their day's work. The engines just wanted to watch them just a little longer. Well, said one of the men, you better go back to your sheds. It's starting to get very dark, and you may not be able to see your way back, he said. And that's an idea for the rest of you, he said, and he wandered off. The other three men went off as well. Well, I guess there's no more to see, said Thomas. Rusty went off first, with Salty and Whiff. They backed up. Then the rest of the trains backed up. They had to go back to Tidmouth sheds. It was getting very, very dark, and it was getting very hard to see. Boy, oh boy, said Thomas. Man, it's getting dark, he said. So he went on to another railway. Wow, it's getting darker, said Hero. They still had a long way to go. They still had to get over to the docks. So they started off. They had to go very slowly because they were in a very big line. Whoa, it was very dark at the docks, and Colin was asleep. They had to go past very slowly. Wow, it's getting very dark, said Thomas. Could faintly see them, but not that much. They ran around a bend, and they were nearly at Tidmouth sheds. They could faintly see their sheds and where they had to go. Man, it's dark, said Thomas. He hopped in his shed. Night! The other engines all got in their sheds as well. Lady went into hers. Hey, where's Rosie been all day? They said. I don't know, said the engines. I've been in here all day because I don't like construction, said Rosie. You could hear her. Well, okay. But Lady Hat said there was to be a surprise if we helped out. And then they were asleep.